CNBC-TV18.
Wall Street closes a winning week led by the tech-heavy Nasdaq. All eyes now on the two-day Fed meet, which gets underway on Tuesday. Stocks in the Asia-Pacific trade mixed as markets reopen after the Lunar New Year holiday. The SGX Nifty signals a higher start for the Indian market. The Adani Group responds to Hindenburg's questions, issues a fresh statement saying Hindenburg's conduct is calculated securities fraud under applicable laws. The group also reaffirms its compliance with all rules and regulations. Bajaj Finance's third quarter numbers meet estimates. New loans hit an all-time high of over 78 lakh, while return ratios remain healthy. Infra giant L&T, Bajaj Finserv, BPCL and Tech Mahindra from Nifty will report third quarter numbers today. From the broader markets, watch for numbers from SRF, Inox Leisure and Laurus Labs. 2 days to go for the union budget. The street will be watching for populist measures, with this being the last full budget before the 2024 elections. India Inc. bats for fiscal consolidation and steps to boost consumption. Tax rationalization is also on the wish list. Good morning in the Mumbai News Center. I'm Sonal Bhutra and you're watching Power Breakfast. A fresh new day, a fresh new week as well. So let's do one thing. Let's start the show as always with what's happening in the Asian markets. They are largely mixed today. Remember, most of those markets have opened after a long holiday, so we are getting mixed cues out there. The Taiwanese index, which is seeing a big gain, it's up around 3% is the one which is in focus. On the flip side, we have Hang Seng, which is sitting with cuts of around 0.5%. If we look at the other markets as well, they are largely in the green. Shanghai is up around 0.8%. We have Nikkei trading with gains of around 0.3%. So barring Kospi, Hang Seng and Straits Times, most of these markets are in the green right now. And SGX Nifty, as a result of all of this, is indicating that the start for our own market could be in the mild green territory. Remember, Friday we saw massive fall from the highs. So Thursday and Friday, it was a day of profit taking. Let's see whether we see some gains today in the trade or not. Of course, it's the all-important week as we have budget on Wednesday. So ahead of that, the market moves will be closely watched as well. Let's talk about the US markets. Wall Street ended Friday's trading session modestly higher, with the Dow Jones up 28 points, the S&P 500 gaining 10 points, and the Nasdaq Composite closing over 100 points higher. Wall Street is coming off a winning week as the January rally continues. The Nasdaq Composite gained 4.3% for the week, while the S&P 500 added 2.5% and Dow Jones finished 1.8% higher. In fact, on that note, let's listen into some important opinion coming in ahead of the two-day FOMC meeting starting tomorrow. Listen in.
We already know that at this coming meeting, it will be a quarter point. It's already been leaked out to Nick Tamaris at the Wall Street Journal. He's the Fed whisperer. And we're hearing the different bank presidents and governors speak the same tune. So I give him credit for being transparent, not hoodwinking the market. And I think we're likely to have, obviously, another quarter point increase. I would assume they'll still be determined, Powell will be determined to be forceful, because he doesn't want to have two errors in a row, I would guess. The second error would be stopping early, having inflation continue on, not coming back towards the 2% target.
So much bearishness is built in that any crumb of good news, such as the inflation news that we've been getting, interpreted positively by the market, and of course the hope of a pivot by the Fed next week is critically important. We have to get no more than 25 basis points. 50 would be, I think, a disaster. We need to get 25, but we also need to get the messaging that not only does the Fed see that their policy is working, but that they are very near the end of their tightening, not, oh, we have more work to do. I don't think the market will take those words very well.
Okay, Fed's messaging definitely important for our markets, apart from the fact that we have a packed week. So let's get in our research team joining in with what the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and the action from the F&O space as well. This is our Power Prep segment. We'll tell you all about the market cues. Hey guys, a good morning to all of you. First up, let me come across to you, Rima. It is an important week. What are the market cues that we are watching out for?
Hi, good morning. So the SGX Nifty, as you pointed out, is suggesting a mildly positive start, but this comes after 2 days of a brutal sell-off last week on Wednesday and on Friday. In fact, Indian markets are trading at 3-month lows. The BSE companies erased a market capitalization of nearly 11 lakh crore in the last 2 trading sessions, with Adani and the banking stocks taking it on the chin. But it's a big week coming up. You've got the union budget, FOMC decision, corporate earnings flowing through, and the monthly auto numbers. This week's earnings include State Bank of India, ITC, HDFC Limited, Tech Mahindra, Power Grid, Sun Pharma, ACC, and the list is very long. Someone told me about 600 companies will be reporting their numbers this week. Chinese markets are opening up after a week-long New Year holiday. Big selling seen by the FIs on Friday, nearly 6,000 crores sold in the cash. I'm told this is the highest single-day outflow since the 18th of April. And now for the month of January so far, we've seen selling exceed 29,000 crore by the FIs. The DIIs chipped in by buying 4,252 crores, slightly offsetting the selling seen by the FIs. The Adani Group stocks will be on your radar. They've responded to the allegations made by Hindenburg. They're saying the conduct is nothing short of a calculated securities fraud under the applicable laws. Is this enough to spark a rebound in the stocks? We will watch. In terms of just a few levels, now the previous support for our markets was around 17,761, around that. That acted as a support. We breached that in Friday's trade, but now it will reverse and act as a bit of a resistance on the way down and on the way up, and on the way down it will be Friday's intraday low of nearly 17,500, which could act as a bit of a support. Back to you.
All right, Reema, thank you so much for all those cues. Of course, important market cues out there. But as always, a lot of stocks that will be in focus as well. Vivek is joining us to tell us just that. Vivek?
Well, good morning. Quite a few stocks on the radar, that reported earnings. So first on our list is Bajaj Finance. For the second quarter in a row, the earnings have come in largely in line with what the street was anticipating. Profitability jumping up almost 40% on a year-on-year basis. Coming to NTPC, a very good performance by the company this time around. It's a strong operational beat across most of the parameters, with a strong improvement in profitability in the JVs. When you're talking about the net profit, up almost 5.4%, coming in at close to 4,476, above our own poll. When you're talking about the key thing to watch out for, the stake sale as far as the renewable business is concerned, is something that the street will look out for. Vedanta, a slightly muted quarter, especially when you're comparing the profitability on a year-on-year basis. Our profits down over 40% on a year-on-year basis as far as Vedanta is concerned. Bharat Electronics, a muted Q3 this time around. Standalone net profit down almost 8%, at coming in close to the 600 crore mark. This is below the CNBC-TV18 poll of 652 crore. Kajaria Ceramics is the other stock to keep on your radar. Quite a weak quarter for this particular company as well. Margins coming in and significantly impacted by higher raw material costs. So again, watch out for some red as far as Kajaria Ceramics is concerned. Care Ratings, revenues up 10%, profitability up 10%. So again, this particular stock, mild green is expected. Godfrey Phillips, a strong quarter. Hinduja Global Solutions has announced a buyback. And as Reema mentioned, all of the Adani Group stocks will be in focus on the back of a lot of news flow that is coming.
Oh, yes, they will be. And of course, we'll get more details on this one through the course of the day and the show as well. Let me go across to Nigel now, who's joining in with all the cues from the F&O space. Hey, Nigel, morning.
Morning. Well, let's hope that today's a better trading session. The last couple of sessions, the Nifty has lost close to 3%. The Nifty Bank is down 5.5 to around 6% odd. What are the FIs doing in the F&O market? Well, they're shorting the index and they added shorts big time. So they added close to around 27,000 short contracts, while they unwound close to around 8,000 long contracts, which brings the short positioning to around 75% odd. On the option side, they bought both calls as well as puts, and that's almost an equivalent number. But what's telling you that at higher levels, you'll see some supplies. One, they're shorting the index. The second factor is they're writing more calls than puts. So at higher levels, we'll actually see some bit of supply that'll come in there. The 18,000 call, the 17,800 call, well, both of them very, very active, aggressive writing being seen out there. On the downside, since we are in a bit of a, wobbly market, there is some put buying, and in case things go wrong, well, then there is some positioning out there that there was some put buying that we saw in Friday's trading session itself. What's telling you that maybe we'll see a bit of a bounce at some point of time is the PCR now is moving to the lower end of the range, which is around 0.7 odd. So what are the levels you're tracking? Well, Friday's low becomes very, very important, both on the Nifty as well as the Nifty Bank. That's important. Otherwise, we slide down to around the 200 EMA. While on the upside, the recent support levels become the resistance, 17,750 to around 41,500 on the Nifty and the Nifty Bank. SGX, if we're suggesting a green tick. I suspect we'll see a bit of a downtick intraday. Maybe risk reward could favor you today. Back to you.
Okay, yes, it has come off from the highs. Nigel, Reema and Vivek, thank you so much for joining us and taking us through what to be looking out for the trading session today. Let's slip into a short break now. Welcome back. Well, let's go to the big story that we have been tracking. The Adani Group has said that the Adani Enterprises FPO will go ahead as per schedule and with the same price band as announced before. The group has also issued a rebuttal to Hindenburg's allegations. Nimesh is joining us to tell us all about it. Nimesh, good morning.
Hi, morning, Sonal. Sir, a busy weekend tracking all the news regarding the Adani Group. So, whether there was an MSCI press release, the official comment from Adani Group on the FPO, as well as a big rebuttal which came late last night. Now, on the FPO, the company has gone on record saying that they're going to continue as per schedule and as per the announced price band with regards to the FPO. Now, the FPO ends tomorrow, which is January 31st, and the price band which was indicated is between 3112 to 3276. Remember, the anchor investors came in at the higher end. Now, the price, the Friday's close of Adani Enterprise was way below the lower end of the price band as well, which is why there is a lot of speculation. But they have gone ahead and said that they're going to continue with the same price band and the schedule. They are very confident about the success of the FPO, and they believe that the shareholders, including bankers and investors, have full faith. So only time will tell, but next 2 days will be very crucial as far as Adani Enterprise is concerned. And the official word is they are going to continue with the schedule and the price band. So that's on Adani Enterprise. Coming to Adani's response to the Hindenburg report, it's a big release that they put out last night, 413 pages. Out of which, the first 55 pages is all about rebuttal, and the rest is all about annexes to prove their point as well. Now, few important things. One, they say that the 88 questions that Hindenburg has asked them in that report, out of which 65 out of that 88 are pretty much been published as the disclosures from the various Adani Group companies. So there is nothing new as far as those questions are concerned. There are 18 of such questions out of the 88, which is whether to do with the public shareholders or the third parties and not with Adani Group per se. And the last 5 questions of that 88, they believe are allegations largely based on some irregularities, or there is no specific reason to answer those. So it's a long response from the Adani Group. Various clarifications they've put out, including annexes as well. So let's see how the market takes it. But at least to start with, there is a clarity on Adani Enterprise FPO, as well as a big rebuttal coming in from the Adani Group late last night.
Important update, Nimesh. Thank you so much for joining us with all those updates as well. In fact, we have an exclusive conversation lined up with Jukshinder Singh, the CFO of Adani Group, at 8:30 a.m. So stay tuned for that on CNBC-TV18. Okay, let's now shift focus to some important earnings that we got. Bajaj Finance reported its third quarter numbers post-market hours on Friday. Abhishek is here with the earnings fine print. Abhishek.
Well, the earnings were in line with our estimate. To begin with, the new loans are at all-time high of about 78.4 lakhs, which is up 16% quarter-on-quarter. Remember that in the preview numbers that they had given on the business update, it was a growth of around 13 to 14%. So the growth is actually at 16%. AUM mix shows that they are slowing down in the mortgage portfolio. The overall mortgage growth on a sequential basis is much lower than the overall AUM growth and other products as well. Consumer, SME and commercial actually have driven the strong loan growth momentum this time around. Calculation shows that the net interest margin has improved sequentially, but it has declined on a YY basis. So the cost of fund is actually coming up in their net interest margin in terms of pressure on a YY basis. The asset quality, they remain benign. Gross NPA ratio has improved. Restructured assets also remain at one of the lowest amongst other lenders. So return ratios have remained healthy. ROA and ROE have improved both YOY and quarter-on-quarter. In terms of PNL versus RPOL, largely in line. The NII was a beat of about 40 crores to RPOL, and the PAT was a beat of about 3 to 4 odd crores against RPOL. Back to you.
All right, that's on Bajaj Finance. The stock will be in focus today. Let's slip into a break. Up next, we get you all the cues from the commodities market. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Still tuned into Power Breakfast on CNBC-TV18. It's time to talk commodities now. Manisha Gupta is joining us with all the update this Monday morning. Hey, Manisha, good morning.
Hey, morning, Sonal. Thank you for that. Well, starting with our crude oil prices, where we have seen prices come off its highs, and this is because the latest data from Russia says that Russia is fully catering to the Asian demand. And if you look at the Baltic ports oil loadings, they are 50% higher in the month of Jan as compared to December. So even as we're looking at sanctions, there is enough and more oil coming in from Russia, which is keeping the prices in check. Well, markets will watch out for Chinese demand as those markets open after a week long of holidays. And the OPEC meeting on 1st of Feb also is something that the street is awaiting right now. The natural gas prices in the meanwhile have continued to decline. We are still trading below $3 per MMBTU. We've seen nearly 15% of a decline in previous week. There are hopes of better exports now coming in from US, which are keeping prices in check. And in Europe, it is still mild summer and capacity is still holding at around 74%, which is keeping the prices in check there as well. But the street expects that the Asian demand will start to pick up in this week, and that could be supportive. So more or less, natural gas prices may have bottomed right now, but how much gains can we see will only depend on demand.
Okay, all right. So we'll keep tracking those gas prices as well. Manisha, thank you so much for that important update. With that, let's move on to some happy news. Team India made history at the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup, defeating England by 7 wickets in an extraordinary final at the inaugural tournament. Shafali Verma's team sent England to bat after winning the toss and bowled them out for a meagre 68 runs. India chased down the target in 14 overs with 7 wickets in hand. Accolades for the young women poured in from all the corners, with BCCI announcing a 5 crore rupee cash prize for the team and support staff after the historic win. All right, on that happy note, we'll take your leave on this edition of Power Breakfast. Stay tuned. Bazaar Morning Call will take up all the action ahead, and it's going to be an important trading day. Asian markets largely mixed. The SGX Nifty is indicating a mild green start for our own markets.